There's two main aspects that I see that most people may not just be looking to. That's why they are stuck in certain situations. So, for example, we all know that most companies in the United States, they're very aware of the people that are there. They're very aware of ways to scale the companies. However, when it comes to some other parts of the world, we do see a lot of companies that never scale up, never grow. And why is that? Well, the reality is that most people think that that would take a lot of work out of them, a lot of sacrifice, and it's too hard to accomplish. So, most small businesses you see, they never grow because people believe it is too hard, it is impossible, too difficult. They're not really willing to do the sacrifice. So, let me tell you something about this. This is not true. This is just something that you believe, and you choose to believe this. Because the reality is, in any business you may be into it, there's always a way to scale. In fact, there's always a way, or almost always, there's a way for you to automatize the business, which allows you to not even have to work. All you may have to do is to pay someone in a system of payment that will just make that person really wanted to scale your business so that the business will be managed in a proper way. Or instead of you being the worker in your business, which happens to a lot of small businesses, instead you step out, you put someone to work, and you just manage. And managing means you're going through internal operations and you're going to pretty much analyze everything for you to get or to come up with strategies to provide a better outcome within the business. And this can be refining the structure, changing the people inside, because you may understand there's people there that are not really willing to do more than what they are doing. And in fact, there could be better people to replace those. At the same time, there's people that could be there and they really don't want to be there. So, I mean, if you want a business to go and scale, you must have pretty much everyone aligned with that idea. People in your business should be happy to work and they should be open to the possibility of the business to scale. What people may not want is to work more out of themselves. But that's also something people should be concerning about. We should not overload people trying to scale a business. Because the moment you overload someone, you are making the business to stagnate because overload people cannot perform. They tend to underperform and just work out of a lot of stress, which is not optimal for the business to work in the first place. So, I can tell you that I have a number of clients that they just went through years working without really needing to. And most of them didn't realize they could just step out and make the business automatic in terms of providing cash flow for them. And the moment I make them see that, they were happy to move with the strategy and actually set them out of work. And I can tell you that that's priceless for most people that actually are there without wanting to. There's no price for you to pay for your freedom in your life, as long as that's what you want. Because if you don't want that, that's another conversation. So, this is one key aspect that the people I'm working with come up to realize and change once I make them see this. So, usually people come with the intention of changing something, and because they don't find a way, they end up contacting my team, and we find a way to make things work the way they want. And essentially, this is going through pretty much what I've been describing in terms of businesses. It could be a number of things, it could just also be the beliefs of people, like I mentioned in the first place. Because again, automatizing a business to make it provide cash flow for yourself without you having to work there, it actually makes things even simpler on your hand. So, again, this is about a belief that has to be deconstructed or changed. But as long as I make people see this, they understand there's a way out, that they were just not perceiving it. So, another really important aspect that a lot of people struggle is relationships. So, you have a number of people that they go through years without really finding anyone to be with when they say they actually intend to be with someone. So, usually, what happens here is they are blocking themselves out of the possibility to actually meet someone and have someone in their lives. So, I can just set a number of examples for you to understand better what it could be. I have one client that he has been through a divorce, and he went for, I would say, 1 year and something without having anyone. But I was in talk with him, and actually, from the first moment that he divorced himself, he was very clear in his mind why the divorce had to happen, because things were not working out. And so they actually thought it would be better to just make the divorce to happen. So the moment he divorced, it was very clear in his mind that was the right thing to do. And he was actually happy with the outcome. So why would he be not meeting someone for such a long time when he was apparently open to that? So we get into the conversation. And he said to me that in fact he couldn't see why, but he was still not able to find someone. And he said that even logically, he was not understanding how he couldn't find someone, because he was living on a city with a lot of movement and a lot of people. So he just thought that naturally he would be able to meet someone. But after all that time, it was still not happening. So I actually asked him if he was seeing himself on the present moment having a relationship. And he actually told me that because of his life circumstances, he was not really seeing a way of things to work on the moment that we were, which was the present. So in his mind, he thought he couldn't make things work in the present. And we went on the conversation, and he was living on a place that was rented with more people, and he was having a room, but it was quite a tiny one with a single bed. So because of this, he was actually thinking there was no way on the circumstances for him to be with someone. And he even said he wouldn't be comfortable in this situation to think things could eventually work out on the present moment. And in this very moment, I didn't even say anything, and he told me, well, I just found out why I couldn't find anyone. He got to understand that these concepts and these ideas he has on his mind was just blocking the possibility of meeting someone in the present. So he was thinking he needed to change his circumstances to eventually meet someone. And then we kept going with the conversation. We actually took 1 month to just make things work on his mind, actually, in a way that he could eventually be open in his mind to meet someone right now. So essentially, we came out with this idea that, like him, there was a number of people in similar circumstances. Because today's circumstances are not really easy, especially for people that may not have a house or eventually needed to sell a house when they divorced, but the money they split it's not enough for them to buy a house right now for themselves. Whatever the answer is, it doesn't have to have a proper explanation, because the truth is, times right now to buy houses are very hard. And, and so, sorry. And so a lot of people, they're not really settling with the idea of this to be a hard circumstance for everyone. It's just not a personal case, you know? But people think they should be on a better place than what they really are. And because of this, they're actually blocking themselves from meeting people because they don't see a way of working things out on the present moment if they were meeting someone to be on a relationship with. Because they find themselves not having a proper space to be with someone else. So, this is one aspect that I think will be common to a number of people. And I come to talk about this because as people realize, most people that could be divorced in relative early ages, or even after like 40s, even people around 50s, you have people on these circumstances living on conditions that are not really optimal to share life with someone else. So, because this is a reality of most people, or a big amount of people, no one has to be ashamed of this. It's not anyone's fault when it come up to this situation. And people should just be open and honest to the circumstance in which they are. Don't be embarrassed by any type of circumstances you could be living in, because it's not your fault. This economic situation in which we are pretty much binded as population is something that, if people don't really understand how things work, people are just swimming against the flow every time. And again, for this topic, I have a number of videos and make things a bit more clear around why everyone's getting screwed over on this system. So another block that may block a relative big number of people when it comes to love is that people may have proper conditions to eventually get on a relationship, but a lot of people are just afraid to be hurt after the previous relationship not working out on the best way. And what happens here is, because you're afraid of getting hurt, you're blocking yourself from either express your love and receive love. And because you block it, you can't receive it. So you can't find anyone because you're afraid of getting hurt. This fear you have is restricting yourself from meeting someone, just because someone may effectively hurt you if things go sideways. So this is another thing that is very common. And what I tell to people about this is the following. You have two options in front of you. The option in which you already are, which is you're not finding anyone because you're afraid of getting hurt. But what happens is, because you're afraid, you're effectively not finding anyone. But that hurts yourself already, because there's people not finding anyone on a space of years. And guess what? That hurts. They're not in a good place. They are struggling on their own condition. So you either suffer or get yourself hurt because you want something and you never achieve it, which is find someone. Or you effectively open yourself to the possibility of finding love, express your love, and receive love. And yes, of course, you may get hurt. It's not proper certainty that you will have. But it's important to acknowledge this situation. In life, pain is a teacher. The reason we experience pain is because that is something, that is a mechanism for us to learn lessons. All the emotions we have are meant to exist for a reason. So I would say that essentially you're expecting to have the positive outcome of something without the negative one. And let me tell you that if you look into your life, you will find that to not be possible to happen at all. You cannot have good moments without some bad moments to come, nor the opposite. So if you are blocking everything that may induce you pain, you may not get your downs as often, but you get into a down place because your life never gets any ups either. So your life is like stagnant, like a dead person life. There's no ups nor downs. And that is bad in itself. No one wants to live a life in which people seem that there's no life there. But the reason they are living lives like this, it's because they are making the life happening this way. Because they are blocking all the variations life may offer. So this is another important aspect to be aware of. Life effectively is created out of our conscious. Our life changes as we intend the life to change. And I do understand there's a lot of people that cannot see this because they don't understand the power they have to make things happen the way they want. But let me tell you, since my early 20s, I knew there was a way that was different from the way most people live. Because I wanted to live a different life and I wanted to follow a different path when comparing to what most people want. And at the same time, I was always looking for changes in order for me to make progress in life in a way that was making an understanding for myself. I was just looking to make life happening the way I intended the life to happen. And because I was aware of this and always looking to create the life the way I wanted, I was always able to do this. So, again, this can happen and it does happen. And I'm doing this for a relative long period of time. So I'm very used to the mechanism. And actually, I developed myself in a way and also kept searching into this, um, let's say, power we have to manipulate everything around us and create the reality in which we choose to live. And the more powerful you become in doing this, the more you are aware and the faster you make changes happening. So today I can see things change in the blink of an eye for me, as I intend to do so. At the same time, I have blocks like everyone else. So there's aspects in life that sometimes I'm getting stuck. And when I'm getting stuck, all I do is to research into myself and try to find why am I stuck on something? Why I'm not progressing further? Because, for example, if I'm stuck on any business I have, in any way or aspect, I do know I'm stuck because there's something within me that is making me stuck, or within the business. But because I'm the person that manages the business, I'm the one that can unblock it. So, yeah, there's things that take a little bit more time to unblock. but essentially everything can be unblocked and everything can make progress or change. It's all about us to be conscious of this possibility. And if there's an aspect in your life that you are stuck and you cannot progress, if you are stuck for months or even more, I can assure you there's something within you that you have to change for you to unblock it. And if you can't find a way, the best way to do it is to find help from someone that knows how to do this. Because the people that understand how to apply these changes and what to look for, they know and they will find something within you that will be able for you to unlock your life and make it flow just as it should flow. Because our natural state for us and for our life should be the flow state. So things should be changing as we move through life. If they're not changing, it's because we're making it to not change at all.